ADHD Babes, the podcast, a podcast hosted by the ADHD Babes community for the community. Please note, nothing mentioned during the podcast is meant as a diagnosis. If you believe you have ADHD, please seek professional advice and visit or join ADHDbabes.com for help with diagnosis. No clinical diagnosis is required to join. And now, you're listening to the next episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast. Thank you to everyone who's joined us by listening so far. Don't forget to follow us so you never miss an episode, and also rate, review and share so that others can find us too. Today's episode is hosted by me, Fallon, and
by me, Chichi. And today we're going to be discussing unmasking.
Joining in on the discussion, we are joined by our guests, ADHD Babes, Anna and Joy.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Joy. Welcome. Hey,
Hey.
So since you've both been on the podcast before, we'll keep intros short and sweet. Anna, let's start with you. Can you give us a quick reintroduction and, of course, a few words to describe your unmasking journey?
Hi, so I'm Anna. I work in energy security, and alongside my professional role, I'm very interested in neurodiversity, obviously, because I have ADHD, dyspraxia, and dyslexia. So well-being and just being good is one of the things that I really advocate for in life and at work. So my unmasking journey started when I realized how much of myself I was constantly editing. My reactions, my communication style, even my energy levels, just to get through the day. It was absolutely exhausting. So unmasking hasn't meant changing who I am. It's meant stopping the constant performance. It's been about learning when it's safe to be more open, asking for what I need without guilt, and accepting that authenticity isn't unprofessional. Just being yourself is not unprofessional. It's actually sustainable. So it's still ongoing, my unmasking, but it's brought a huge sense of relief and a lot of self-compassion.
I love that. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you. And yourself, and you, Joy. A quick reintro from you as well, and a few words to describe your unmasking journey.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Joy. I'm the ops of humanity's worst nightmare. You already know what time it is. And a few words to describe my unmasking journey would be like a trip to the upside down and back. That's what it was. If anyone knows about Stranger Things, yeah, just in short, it was a mess. That's it.
Well, thank you both for introducing yourselves. So in this episode, we will explore the impact of masking for people with ADHD. So ADHD masking is the conscious or unconscious effort to hide ADHD symptoms. So this can be things such as impulsivity, inattention, hyperactivity, in order to appear more neurotypical, to fit into society, or just to avoid judgment in general. So masking is learned. It's a learned coping mechanism, and it's common in both children and in adults. And it's used to navigate a world built for neurotypical brains, but it can also delay diagnosis and essentially lead to burnout.
For many of us, especially women and or people assigned female at birth, also known as AFAB, masking is something we learn very early. It's one of the main reasons ADHD is so often missed in girls and young AFABs, and why so many diagnoses happen later in adulthood. We learn how to cope quietly, how to adapt, how to appear like we're managing, even when we're not. When you start learning about ADHD, masking is often one of the first words that really lands. Not because it's academic, but because it puts language to something you've already been doing for most of your life.
So masking doesn't look the same for everyone, and it doesn't stay fixed. It can change across our lives, from childhood and school into adulthood. And for many people, one of our biggest places it shows up is actually at work. Masking can look like performing, it can look like shrinking or staying silent, it can look like always being late, for example, struggling with admin, or being expected to keep up with instructions on the fly, and blaming yourself when you can't. So, just to explore this a little deeper, what does you in your mask state look like, and which settings would you say you mask the most? So, if we start with Anna.
Yay! Hello. Oh my God. The spaces. For me, those spaces often reward conformity. There's an implicit idea of what's professional,
Yes.
engaged, or competent, and what that looks like. And it doesn't always leave room for difference. So masking becomes a protective strategy, is about safety, predictability, and reducing the risk of being misunderstood or judged. What I realized over time is that the mask isn't about deception, it's about survival. So in environments that weren't designed when neurodivergent needs are in mind, the challenge and the work that takes to unmask is learning when the mask is genuinely useful and when it's costing more than it's giving back.
Yeah, no, amazing. Some really great points there that I can definitely relate to as well. And Joy, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? What would you say?
Could you please repeat the question?
Of course, yeah. So the question was, what does you in your mask state look like, and in which settings would you say that you mask the most?
Funny enough, the places I masked the most was every fucking where. So, at home, I masked the most, which was absolutely insane. Like, growing up in such a strict African family, I had to mask. Because what do you mean you're, what? Are you a mumu? Ah, come here.
Hello. Yes.
No.
Tell them.
So, at
Yes.
home, at work, on the streets, in a line, because waiting in line made me act a fool, like, and I realized because of the lack of patience and stuff, I'd always like distract myself. Everything I did would make me weird. Like in an elevator that, I used to work on, it was always top freaking floors. So I guess because of the views and so forth. So like, even that wait in the elevator, I couldn't sit still. Like I had to, and people loved it. They were like, "Oh, she's quirky, she's dancing, she's being," and like sometimes it wasn't, appreciated. So you had to still, mask and look professional. But yeah, at work, at school, at home, in my relationship with my ex, in my friendships, like literally everywhere. I feel like I was a transformer child. Everywhere. There used to be a time, and now I can actually say, only in settings where I feel like it's new territory to me, but it doesn't last long. It's just like kind of like let's see what's up. Like it's almost like a default protection mode, but I don't play the masking game anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
I know you touched on, especially in the home. So what would you say it was about these spaces in particular that made you feel like it was necessary to mask?
Being reprimanded all the time. And also, like, I grew up in a highly critical, like, household. Like, they would be cussing day and night. They'd be cussing people, cussing out other people's children, cussing out other people,
Yeah.
And then, like, a lot of the time you're hearing them cuss people and their behaviors and you're thinking, oh my God, that's me. That means I'm the
Yeah.
You could literally relate with the people they're cussing. Like, and I'm like, oh,
The
so that's not acceptable.
comparison.
Yeah, and the comparison and so forth. Like, she like, and it will be to the point where I used to literally pretend that I remembered everything, which was so insane because that had got me in so much trouble. remember I had told you, da, da, da. Oh, yeah,
Mm.
of course, yeah. Remember, sometimes it would be like big freaking news until I realized that my family also are like undiagnosed and in denial for the most part, and that they're to forget and they're to think sometimes that they've told me things, because there's time where I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I know it's me now. I always forget. So let me just by default just say, yeah, you're right. Like that became my thing. Like, yeah, you're right. You told me I forgot. Like I just accept it. And then there were times where I felt so strong, like, no, no, you didn't. And it was them that had forgotten. But like because I had then been used to using that mask of by default, yeah, I forgot. It's my fault. I just always took the blame for everything, even when it wasn't, on me. It drove me so insane that by the time when I was closer to being diagnosed, I started recording everything, every conversation, because I was losing my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and that can be really,
Absolutely.
really difficult to navigate through. Yeah. And what about
Yeah.
you, Anna? Do you know, was there
I can
anything in
really relate
particular why
to
you...
that, Joy.
Mhm. Yeah, sorry, Anna. Yeah, so what was it about those spaces that you felt that it was necessary to mask?
I feel like it's because it's very formal. Like, okay, so my experience is quite different to Joy's. Like
Mm.
at home I could be myself. My household, was very was very loving, but they did have very, very high expectations for me and my brothers. So I felt like I'm the eldest as well, so I had a great responsibility to be, and I could be just myself at home. If I have to be honest, I could be myself. I was always the angry black girl. I was always angry because my parents put so much responsibility on me so early on. Because on top of the fact that they didn't know I was neurodiverse, I was very smart. So I always had the answers for everything. I resolved issues. I was always there to understand things and to minimize reactions or whatever. I was always very, but I feel like when I started working, that's when it became an issue. That's when I realized, and obviously you as a black person, first of all, you realize that you have to come to work with a certain way of speaking, a certain look. My hair, for example, like now, thank God we can wear our own hair. We can be bold. We can have afro hair. We can have braids if we want to, all of that. But like, I think like 20 years ago or more, you were expected to relax your hair and your hair to be relaxed and to look. That was the professional look, to look like a white woman. So there was a lot of masking in that in my professional environment. I had to mask in large meetings, on spaces where there was strong unspoken expectations, because they don't say it to you, but it's unspoken. You know that's how you need to come around. So you need to have that certain behavior, that certain pace, and it became fairly like you had to behave in a certain way, because otherwise you get put in a box. If you were assertive, you sounded like you were aggressive. If you responded, you weren't really responding. You were being, what's the word? Oh my God, I have the word in my head, but I can't get it out. Instead of reactive, you would be combative, I guess. And it's it was like, in order for me to avoid all of these, in order for me to avoid, I have to sort of like behave this way. So I've always been like that at work. With my friendships, I've been myself, which probably meant that I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of friends. The ones I've stayed, they know me and they love me just as I am. And now that we've had like 20 years of friendship, we're all like, oh, we've all been tested, so we're all neurodiverse. So we're like, oh, that's where we stuck with each other.
Mhm. That makes
Because
sense.
we understood each other. We understood we were
Yeah.
different. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting because I've noticed that as well. The more I work in, different organizations and in the workplace, I realize that it's really not built for our brains. Like, it's such a neurotypical structure. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Anna and Joy. So now I'm going to move the conversation over to intersectionality and masking. Intersectionality is a term coined by Kimberly Crenshaw. It explores how overlapping identities such as race, gender, and neurodivergence shape lived experience in how masking is learned, expected, and enforced in different spaces. For Black women and non binary people with ADHD, behaviors linked to ADHD are often filtered through racial stereotypes and cultural judgment. Being seen as lazy, difficult, unreliable, or not trying hard enough, that changes how masking is interpreted and why it can feel so necessary. So, Anna, I have two questions for you, and I'm happy to repeat them if needed. So, what do you think masking has protected you from? And what has masking cost you emotionally, mentally, or physically?
Yeah. So to the first question, I think masking has protected me from misunderstanding and also from misjudgment. It's helped me to navigate spaces where differences isn't always well understood. Um, Particularly professional environments, as I said before, where there are very narrow ideas of what competence or confidence really looks like. Um, Masking for me has been a way of staying safe. It's reduced the risk of being seen as difficult, as you mentioned before, seen emotional or too much. So in many ways, it's been a survival skill for me. It's something that has allowed me to move through systems that weren't designed for me, that weren't designed for people who are neurodivergent. And with those needs in mind, um, they won't be taken seriously in many situations. Um, so now I don't see masking as a failure, if that makes sense. I think is that you see it as an intelligent way um to be in my own environment. Um, the cost of masking um has been significant for me. I think emotionally it's meant carrying a constant sense of vigilance. I'm very vigilant. I'm always aware of what people are saying.
Yeah.
Always monitoring myself, always slightly braced. And mentally is absolutely exhausting. I'm tired of it. Um, that ongoing self-editing, you have to think about what you're going to say. That takes an enormous amount of cognitive energy.
Yep.
And it leaves less room to be creative, to connect to people, and also to recover. Physically, it's showing up as burnt out. I'm constantly burnt out. I'm constantly with fatigue. I'm constantly stressed. And sometimes without me fully realizing it as well. Like I feel I only realize when the feeling is there, when my body speaks to me and tells me, oh my goodness, what's going on. And I think the hardest part has been how normalized I've also um how the exhaustion has become. It's just for me, it's just a normal thing. Like I'm tired. Okay, that's fine. It's normal for me. Um, so masking worked, but it's not sustainable. I
Mm.
don't think you can, I know because from my own experience, I had a complete total breakdown 2 years ago. I was so stressed. I had so much anxiety. I ended up having panic attacks, but it became an actual disorder.
Mm.
And then I obviously had to take time out from work. So being able to unmask has been about me choosing long-term well-being and safety in the short term.
Mhm. Well, that is very wonderfully put. Thank you, Anna. I love how clearly you laid out, the cost with physically, mentally, and emotionally, and yeah, and what you talked about with masking protecting us, because yes, it is safety and survival, and we all of us human beings need to do that. And for us who are neurodivergent, even more so, maybe.
Yeah.
And you just helped me identify why I did not do great in the corporate world, which I've
Yeah.
since left because of because I think some people, some neurodivergent people, are able to mask better than others. However, being able to do that is not necessarily better for you. Like,
No.
yes, you might be able to be more successful,
Mm.
you know, typically successful. For people in the audio, I'm using air quotes, successful in a more typical way, but the
Yeah.
cost can be really high.
Mm.
And for me, I wasn't as great in masking in the corporate world, like following the rules of your hair is supposed to be this. And I think it's because I've been a creative and I've always been a creative. So I wasn't good. Like, stuff did not make sense to me. And I would sometimes express that, which was a no-no. So I did not
Yeah.
do well in the corporate world. So I really appreciate what you said. And I hear that.
Mm.
And yeah, it is a big cost. And I also had a full
Yeah.
burnout, even with my not being all that great at masking. I was still masking, and then I hit full burnout a few years ago
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
resigned from my job and all of that. So it takes a lot, and it's been recovery to get back. Um, yeah. So anyway, so thank you for sharing.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. So Fallon, I'm going to kick it back to you. Go ahead.
Amazing. Thank you, Chichi. So yeah, so we spoke about masking, which we now kind of have an understanding of, but let's also talk about unmasking, because in the same way that we can learn how to put on a mask, we can also learn how to take it off. And actually that part, the letting go, is where a lot of the freedom sits, just like, you've both shared. So that's where the joy can come in, the relief, and also just reclaiming, that's where it can really begin. So, for a lot of Black women with ADHD, unmasking isn't about being comfortable. It's about no longer being led by the need to make other people feel comfortable with us. It's
Mm.
about reclaiming parts of ourselves that we were taught that were inappropriate, that were unprofessional, that was unsafe. Things like being loud, being playful, being
Yeah.
creative, being soft, needing rest, or just being honest. So, a lot of what you've both touched on there as well. So, Anna, I've got some questions that I'd like to explore with you. So, what is one thing you stopped masking and thought, I'm not doing this anymore?
There's so many, but if I have to put it down to one, the one thing I consciously stopped doing was pretending I had unlimited capacity.
Mm,
I think we were
Yes.
mentioning before that saying yes when I was already stretched or pushing through exhaustion just to appear capable or agreeable. Um, yeah, last year, for example, I reached a point where I thought, oh my gosh, I am not doing this anymore. Like, I just
mm,
can't not do this anymore because it's costing my health. So letting go of that mask meant being more honest about my limits, even when it felt so uncomfortable.
yeah.
It also led to trusting that my value isn't measured by how much I can endure.
Mm.
Mm,
So it's not, because that was one of the things that I was just like, yeah, I have to say yes, I can do it, I'm capable. I can stretch myself to these and I can stretch myself to that. But then I became conscious, actually, no, you can't.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's one of the things. Just
Yeah.
stop pretending.
Yeah. And that can be one
That's
thing that's really
amazing.
difficult
That's
with
amazing.
ADHD is saying no. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
So I wanted
And
to, I
go
don't
on.
know if you've heard, I don't know if you heard or seen, there is a short clip with Trevor Noah, who also has
Oh,
ADHD. And he talked
yes.
about one reframe that really helped him. And anytime he's asked a question, anytime he's asked to do something, he starts with no.
Yes.
And that's the thing, just start with no.
Yes.
And I love that because we can just say yes to everything,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
whole capacity issue, scheduling, and we're overwhelmed and disappointing ourselves and other people. So I just love what he said about just
The
start with
time
no.
blindness. The
Yes,
time blindness
Stephen.
is insane.
Yes,
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
yes.
And then do you find as well when you said yes and then you realize actually I can't feasibly do this, but then it's that fear of going back and saying actually I can't do this. So you can't go back and say no. So now you're like trying to force yourself to do it. And it's just like almost impossible. And then that's when it adds to the burnout, the stress, the overwhelm, everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just go back to people and say, look, I'm sorry. Since I've realized I've got ADHD, this is what's the thing. This is my ADHD playing up. I double booked myself. And then I sometimes even have to say no to both things, you know, because I'm so tired. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing any of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been a useful tool to help you accept and honor more of your authentic self?
Yes, I think a tool for me has been self-permission, you know, allowing myself to actively check in with myself and asking, what do I actually need right now?
Mm.
You know, rather than what should I be able to cope with? You know, no, I shouldn't be thinking about what I can cope with. Is what can I do right now? And alongside with that is the language that I use that helps me to become a bit more powerful. So learning words from my own experiences, whether those words are around neurodivergence, setting boundaries,
Mhm.
and thinking about my burnt out, you know? If I'm burnt out, that's it. I can't
Mhm.
do anything. So those are the things that help me to move from self-judgment to self-understanding. I think once you put a name to something, you can honor it
Yeah.
instead of fighting it. So yeah, so it kind of changed the narrative from, that there's something wrong with me to actually, no, this is how my brain works. This is how I'm wired. And that's okay.
Mhm.
That's okay. And I mean, I've, RSD, so, that's one being thing,
Those who don't know.
for those that don't know,
For those. Rejection sensitivity
is rejection
dysphoria.
sensitivity dysphoria, which is it's I would say is attached to people who have attention deficit and hyperactivity, and it's very difficult to accept, even if it's like what they call it. I hate that word because
It's
to me
an
criticism is criticism. You know, when they say, is it positive criticism?
constructive criticism.
Constructive
Yeah.
constructive criticism. I'm like,
Constructive. Listen,
I don't even look at the constructive part of it. I'm like, you're still criticizing me.
constructing.
You're not constructing me by criticizing me. I don't think so. You know what I mean? So like I have learned to kind of like, if I see a negative, just look at everything and then be like, well, that's that person's perception of my behavior at that time, but that's not really me. So I've learned to accept who I really am when I'm in my best, because sometimes I'm not at my best. And when I'm not at my best, the perception of myself obviously is going to be different to other people.
Mm.
So yeah,
Is literally an allergy to rejection. That's what it is. Allergic
Yeah.
to
I like that.
rejection. Anytime. Won't do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that.
Absolutely.
And it sounds a lot like you're giving yourself a lot more compassion, which is amazing. Yeah, and it
I
kind of leads
am.
on nicely to the next question, which is basically just asking, how did it feel to let yourself occupy a space as you are?
Coming, coming. That's what I didn't even know that question was for me, but just the question was so liberating. Hello, I'm here. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. That's the one. Yeah, that's self-acceptance. Sorry, what was the question?
Sorry, I just had to laugh out loud. I'm so sorry.
I got carried away.
Nothing to apologize. We're unmasked here, so yeah.
Honestly, could you please kindly repeat the question?
As you are. How did it feel to let yourself occupy space as you are?
It felt like losing my V all over again. That's how it was. I popped my cherry. One more thing, like you be popping your cherry every single time, like every single thing you just popping it. Oh my God, so many cherries to pop. And that's how we felt. Yeah.
And it hurts.
Well, that's it. Oh my God, Joe, I love it. Oh, you were so funny.
Yeah, that's how it felt. It felt so good. Like I was like, so this is how I could have been living.
Mm-hmm.
This is the freedom.
Yeah,
This is the I don't give
yeah.
and like for real, like I've heard a lot of people I can't even name now because there's so many people that said that. But the more you grow up, the less fucks you give. And the amounts of fucks I'm not giving right now. Oh my gosh. And like that's really what it was. Like you're giving yourself permission to stop caring so much because it's that
Yeah.
caring about every freaking thing that was weighing, on my poor little wide shoulders. They're wide, but they're come on. They just look,
Yeah, they can't
yeah,
carry all of that heaviness.
it was too much. So I was
Yeah.
really like, this is what it must feel like to be white. Because honestly, like, I can't no more. Like, I just really felt free. Like I think
Yeah.
life changing. So that's why I can't go back in the closet. I just can't do it.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Get me out.
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think for me, it was really uncomfortable, deeply uncomfortable. And I felt like I was taking a bit of a risk. Because there was guilt, there was fear, there was a sense that maybe I'm taking up too much space. But over time it became grounding. So I started doing it, as I said, at work because I feel like I was a completely different person at work. I was just, if I have to describe it, which is really bad, I was a white man, or not even a white woman. I was a white man
The
at work.
freest.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with the sentiment that obviously white men will do and say whatever, I still had that sort of sensitivity of, like, and then people would say this to me at work all the time, the microaggressions that are insane. Oh my God, you're so eloquent. The way that
Wow.
deal with situations, your English is so good. Like,
Oh my
oh my goodness.
God.
So yeah, I used, and I work for the civil service. I don't even work for like a proper corporate role. Like, I think that if I worked in a if I ever would have worked in a corporate environment, I would be in some mental health hospital right now. I think I chose the right place to work and I was very smart about it, but there's still so many microaggressions.
Micro is come on.
Yeah, I
Question.
know. That's the word they use, but
The
they're
micro.
definitely massive aggressions. So, like, letting me occupy space as I am brought a sense of relief. And I didn't even realize it until I felt it. I remember I had a conversation with my top director, and he said something. And okay, so he's also neurodivergent, but he's white Scottish and comes from a very wealthy family. So he was trying to say like, oh yeah, I also have ADHD and the way that and I was just like, listen, though, this is not a Me Too movement. This is not how it works. You know,
Cute.
we're very different, very, very different. Your traits, the way that the way that your ADHD comes across or your autism is different to the way my ADHD and autism comes across. You're like 3 grades. You're a director,
Wow.
right? And you're a more white man and you're younger than me. And you've made it regardless of all your neuro differences. You know, it was even easier for you, even though you were neurodivergent. I'm still like 3 grades below you, being in this job longer than you have. My intersectionality, I brought everything. I'm a woman, I'm a black woman.
I love
Like I have a disability, I have an illness. Like, come on, man. What don't I the one thing I don't take on the thing is that I'm heterosexual, but you never know.
in toolkit, so it's like shut up.
Exactly. So, and he was like, oh, hold on. This is no da da da. And I was like, no, because it's not a Me Too movement. You cannot put yourselves in the same situation as me. And that's the first time in like 15 years
I love
that I
that.
asserted myself, and I must. And I think that worked because he changed his narrative from then on. So I feel more present, I feel more settled, I feel more connected, and more connected to myself and to others, you know, because I come as myself. And it wasn't being about being the loudest or being more visible. It was just about no longer thinking, you know, that I had to be something that I'm not. So that was that just transformed the way that I was. Unmasking for me, it just changed me forever.
I love that. You know what you were saying at the beginning, like how at the beginning it's uncomfortable, like you're not sure. Like, that's true. There's something to be said. You literally just described the cherry pop. That's what it is. At first you're like, what is this? Well, and then the more you do, you're like, oh, this is fun. This is so dope. Okay, cool. I can get with this. That's what it is. But for me, it's kind of like I'm a all in or nothing. There's no in between. When the first time I unmasked so much, I ended up section. They were like, nah, this bitch needs lock her up right now. What? I just went insane, literally lost my shit. I was having a spiritual awakening. It's like I was not only unmasking myself, but like I was unmasking everything that I was seeing, the way I was thinking, the way I was looking at things, the way I was, just everything in one, just unraveling, like just somebody you can't take nowhere. Like you can't show them nothing. You show me now and I'm blowing up the whole spot. That's what it was for me. I just went, what? Ended up section, child.
So
Thank you so
Joy,
much.
I just wanted to make sure Joy had the chance answer the other 2 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you stopped masking and thought, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore?
So obviously I'm a recovering people pleaser. So the one thing, no, hold on, let me remember actually, because that might not have been the first thing I stopped masking, but that was probably like second. I was like, no, NON. I was saying it in French and in English. No. So, but the first thing that unmasked for me was even from myself, if that makes sense. And I don't know then if that's actually part of masking, but like I tuned in. It's like I was never aware of how just absolutely disgustingly and just like harshly I was speaking to myself. That was the first like light bulb where I started unmasking. It was just like, wait, hold on, what it said what? So to the point where I became aware of my 24/7 non-stop thoughts, and they were all just negative. Every 5 seconds, you fucking bitch, what the fuck? You so stupid. You so yo to the like, you know, like literally like a movie, like you mute, unmute. I was just like, make it stop. What's going on? So that was the first thing I stopped doing, and I think that was, as I said, like an internal mask as opposed to an external mask, because I had to mask from even myself to be able to, you know, go so deep and like blend in the way I was trying to blend in. So that had to be rectified ASAP. Like, don't talk to yourself like that. Like, I was fighting with myself in the mirror, like, bitch, who are you talking to?
Mm.
And she'll be like, you, and I'll be like, your mama, and I'll be like, your mama. It was honestly, it was it was an internal tussle.
Yeah.
My God would say it's an internal, like it was, yeah. So I think that's the number one, because that's the first thing I can remember doing. And then like, because also I would pretend that I was so kind to myself, that I loved myself. That was one of the things I loved saying. I love myself. Like, bitch, don't sound like it. You really hate
Yeah.
yourself like in real life. That was insane. So
Yeah.
I would say that was definitely the first thing that comes to mind. And then the second thing was then realizing I had limited amount of energy. So basically being able to say no, because I'm like, no, actually I'm tired. And that's why I explained, like it felt like everything in one go just happened, like it just dropped on me. Because the minute I became aware of everything at once. So as I said, like I became aware of how tired I was. I didn't have tiredness before. You know, like you feel like you could, like that's what it was. Yes, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be there. And now, like immediately after, I was just like, how the fuck was I even doing all of these things? Like after one thing, I don't even have. After half of the thing, I can't do it no more.
Mm.
Like that was, yeah, it was a lot. So being able to tell people to stick it,
Yeah.
to say no, because obviously then you also realize like the people who was really, really taking advantage of that, like some of them they were just like, listen, we got a free ATM. This ATM is defective. It works. Like you just don't even have to put a bank card in, and it just, you know, and I'm not just talking about money. I'm just talking about every which way you can, you know, profit from someone. Yeah. So that was the other thing. And then, as I said, I literally ended up in the mental health hospital not long after. But obviously, like me abusing weed to like self-medicate and cope and sleep played a big part. Um but that also contributed in my, you know, because I was realizing everything at once, like even why I'm smoking, which is also why I immediately stopped smoking. The minute I self-diagnosed with, it was Jessica Maccabi from How to ADHD. It was her video that did it for me. Oh my God, she diagnosed me, honey. Yeah, she diagnosed me. Shout out to her. So it was from that I was just like, so I don't need weed. I was just smoking because da, 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 da. And basically stopping cold turkey after the start in mid 2020 to when that happened was end of 2021. Yeah, that recipe, yeah, was sectionable recipe. Section 2, ma'am. Come here. Yeah. So yeah, then I can't then gradually I started unmasking, because obviously as much as I was aware, it didn't, you know, it doesn't naturally just come. It wasn't, I had all my life I'd been masking. I was 30 blood by then, like, so it took time, but I was determined, and it was like a active exercise to unmask. So then the other
Yeah.
stuff I can't remember one by one. I just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is very liberating once you have that awakening. It's freedom, to say the least.
Yeah,
So
I don't know if anyone can relate.
and what would you say has been a useful tool to help you accept and honor more of your authentic self?
I'm not gonna lie, other people. So in that case, I would say social media,
Yeah.
because if I wasn't seeing people that were so accepting of themselves
Mm.
and so forgiving, so understanding, so patient, so oh that's fine, like it was a few neurodivergent friends that I had made along the way. They're the first people I came out to. I keep saying like I came out, child. I really did come out. And they were like, I thought you were, but I didn't want to cry. I was just like, bitch, you should have. That's the time when you should have been crying, because she was like, you look like you liked your masquerade, honey. No, but yeah, so damn, being so free, being so like everything was fine, not being told I was too much. I was cutting people, not every 5 seconds, you cut me, I was speaking. Bitch, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. Hey,
It was so
speak
funny.
now. Well, now I can't remember what you said. Any fucking hoe, any hoe. So, so it was just, oh, they were just so accepting of me. Like that really just helped me accept myself so much, because had it not been for that and like the other thousands of videos, and as I said, I started with Jessica Maccabi, but then it became too Caucasian. It was Caucasian Nation, and I was just like, I need to see Black people. Like, I really need to see my people, basically tell me the same thing she's telling me, but she's white. So I couldn't fully accept what was coming out of her mouth, because I didn't feel like, like where there's a certain, we can't act the same, as you just said, even for your boss. Like, oh yeah, but yeah, but because there's a different set of rules for both of us. I'm new to this and I'm Black. I'm still Black. So I need the rules and regulations for my kind. So that's when I started the hunt for Black people with ADHD. And honestly, I found ADHD Babe like literally a whole year after of looking for
Yeah.
Black people. I used to put so many hashtags, Black people with ADHD, Black ADHD. Like, that would cut me up. I'm like, if that's even a feedback I need to give them, they need to be more black on black on black on. It just says ADHD Babe. It doesn't really, there isn't so many hashtags about being Black. Maybe now there is, but back when I was looking, like, it was really a struggle to find. And so I really needed that external validation. That's the one that was working the most for me, but I needed it in Black form. And
Yeah.
I eventually, found it. So,
Found it.
yeah,
Yes.
I swear, when I don't even know how Viv let me the group, because I think I scared her when I was just so happy, but like, wow, what the fuck? Like, that was so insane. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I had given up.
100%.
But for me, the main
100%.
tool is other people, for sure. Other people,
Yeah.
the social media as well. Cause
Yeah. And
Well,
I think
Joy,
that's one
that's
of
a
the
great
beauty
segue
about,
to the next thing.
yeah. Because I was going to say, I think that's one of the beauty about unmasking as well, is that, you find your people. And if you keep masking, it's like you don't get to find the people that actually resonate with you. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's Joy. That is a great segue to the next thing we're going to talk about: community. So for
look at
many of
that.
us, for many of us, it becomes possible in community when we're in spaces where we are understood, believed, and don't have to explain ourselves. Amen. Being
Hey,
around other
Amen.
yes. Being around other Black women with ADHD and other Black non-binary people with ADHD can change what feels normal and what feels allowed. It can give permission to soften, to be honest, and to stop performing. So, question, I'll start with you, Joy. So, what role has being part of ADHD Babes played in your unmasking journey? And is there something you allow yourself now or no longer force yourself to do because you know you're not alone?
For sure. Okay, so from what I remember from the questions, it used to be so hard to be myself. Like, I think that was one of the hardest thing. And I was someone who kept saying, like, I'm myself. Like, I was really denied. Honestly, I don't know what land I was. It was the upside down. I'm telling you, it was the upside down. Watch Stranger Things if you don't know what the upside down is. So, it was really, really difficult to be myself. It was difficult to accept myself, because it was literally something that had never been done before by anybody. I'm the first person who had to accept myself, and here I was 30, you know, so it was really difficult when like all of your life, all of the messages like, girl, what you doing? You can't be this, you can't be her, you can't, well, what? And now I was going to be myself in a way that I had never experienced, like, because I didn't know who I was. I literally had to learn. It was like being reborn. So, and I definitely realized I didn't have that strength and that confidence that I was portraying. That was all a mask as well. I had to really build and work at it to get real confidence, because everything was fake it till you make it. That was my motto. You know, I was faking confidence. And when you fake confidence, it's really different than having real authentic confidence that's built through, you know, trials and tribulations. So um finding community, as I said, and seeing people who was at all different levels of their you know, neurodivergent journey, because most of us unfortunately um have been diagnosed late, you know, as adults. So but you still had some people who had been 3 years in, 2 years in, 5 years in, whatever. So just seeing that over and over and over again, because I was masking a lot when I came to ADHD Babes. It's mostly Viv that was like, and other babes, but like when I first joined, it was more Viv that I was like speaking to more. Yeah, yeah, and she kept telling me, you don't gotta do that here. You know, it's okay. It's actually like she will give me non-stop pep talk, like small ones that don't even have to be long. But like just the gist of it was just letting me know it's okay. You could be yourself. Like stop apologizing all the time. You don't need to. It's cool. Like I believe you don't need to tell me the whole story. You don't. It was just so many different things where I was like, damn, like I can actually breathe. It's just like that. Oh, I can't even tell you that I'm about to get emotional.
Mm.
And I'm like, your own, like your sperm donor, your surrogate, they don't be, never heard those things from them, like never. And they're the one who, you know, who made the choice to have you in this place. And like these complete strangers are letting you know that it's okay. And I believe them. It feels real. It feels genuine. Like, why would the lie detector says that that was the truth? That was not a lie. And so, also seeing it, because I was so paranoid, I thought that they would just lie. They would just, you know, like they would just like politically correct. They would just tell you things. But the consistency, not just with me, with others. I have never been in the ADHD space community, and I've heard people back chat and talk about other people behind their back when they leave. It's like, oh, she was doing too much, or she was not the stuff that I'm used to seeing everywhere at work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, never, none of that. So you just, oh my God, such a safe space. Like, I can't even, as I said, it's like leaving the upside down and coming back to re-entering like real life and society. You're like, wow, like, for the first time, I didn't know I was in that place that looked like here, but it wasn't that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. Oh, just yeah. Community was every motherfucking thing, honey. Thank
I
you.
agree.
Amazing.
I agree. Yeah, no, that's yeah, exactly. And for those of you who don't know, who might be listening to this from the US, the ADHD Babes does have a small US branch, and we have support
Yay.
groups once a month online. So, 'cause
Yes.
I'm in the United States, and ADHD Babes has been amazing for me, even though it's based in the UK. But we have like a small group in the US, and we're growing little by little. So just
That's right. I know that's right. Do you know what? You just reminded me of one thing. Sorry, if I could just add. Sorry, not sorry. Like I also, I also felt like such an imposter. When I came, like I had such an identity crisis when I joined ADHD Babes, because I didn't think like I was funny anymore. I was like, we have the same fucking sense of humor. The stuff that would make me popular at work and like in other places, like, oh my God, you're so good. Oh my God. Oh, like at the time, it was just everyone is like this here. We have,
Yeah.
what the hell? No, yo, that was insane. We'll be laughing. We'll be thinking of the same jokes. We'll be thinking of the same
Yes.
responses. We'll be thinking, like, I wasn't funny anymore. So I was just like, so even my funny is an ADHD trait. Like, I don't
Yeah.
got nothing of my own. Like, I don't got no personality. What the fuck?
But that's
Yeah.
yours. What do you mean? Everyone
about thinking-
presents differently. Everyone presents differently.
But at
That's
first,
you.
though, it was a lot because, as I said,
Yeah.
I was really, really new. Like, I was one of those that, like disability is only a physical disability. If you're
Yeah.
missing an arm, if it's something that I can see, all of this is really new to me. All I know is people
Yeah.
are crazy. Some people are crazy. Just don't approach them. It's contagious. Don't
Yeah.
look up and just look. Put your head down. Don't even look too much.
Mm.
That was a lot, and like you felt safe, but at the same time, I was like grieving everything that I had been thinking about myself. Like I was just like, oh my god, who am I? Like generally, just a full identity crisis. It was dope, but it was rough. Yeah, yeah. So it was, yeah.
I relate to that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Joy. Anna, I'm going to move on to you to ask the same questions.
Yeah.
What role has being part of ADHD Babes played in your unmasking journey? And is there something you allow yourself now or no longer force yourself to do because you know you're not alone?
Right. See, I was saying it earlier. I have to like rephrase it all. So being part of ADHD Base for me has been transformative. It has helped me to be, it has helped me along in my journey to be myself. I think it was the only space where I didn't need or feel like I needed to explain or justify myself. Where behaviors I spent years and years and years questioning or hiding was just simply understood. So seeing people seeing you lot speak out so openly, seeing everybody speaking so openly about their experiences also helped me recognize parts of myself with a lot more compassion. And I've been saying this throughout the whole episode. It normalized things that I'd internalized as well. Like I thought those were personal shortcomings. And I kind of like validated those experiences because I wasn't on my own. There was a community, it was a group of women that looked exactly like me. Yeah. And so that sense of belonging made me a mask and just feel safe.
Seeing yourself,
Like I was
everyone.
not at risk. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was at risk. I feel like I could be myself and return to myself, but be the person that I really want to be. And it just showed me that it's possible that when you're part of our community, you're not constantly comparing yourself to other people or whatever, because you can see that there's people that are exactly like you behave the same way as you. So that's one of the things that ADHD Babes has done for me in terms in helping me unmask. The second part of the question,
Is there something you allow yourself now or no longer force yourself to do because you know you're not alone?
yeah, I think I allow myself to rest without justifying it. I do that quite a lot, you know. I no longer force myself to push through discomfort or to meet expectations, and knowing that I'm not alone has taken away that inner voice that says everyone else can cope. Why can you? Like, no, and I now allow myself to pause, step back, ask for support without feeling guilty, or without framing it as if it's a failure. So I feel like there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of freedom in realizing that I don't have to earn people's needs and that other people do walk the walk that are similar to me,
Mhm.
and they walk a similar path to me the same way. And I do it with that, they do it with, with kindness. And there's not such a, the word perfection doesn't fit in, there doesn't have to be no perfection. We can just be our all wonderful selves. So, yeah.
I'll say that again. I love that. And like, 'cause I didn't even get to answer that part. Sorry if I could jump in. Sorry,
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But literally, like, ADHD babes made it okay for me to be me. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally just being in that space. I was like, okay, I am okay. It's acceptable. I was seeing myself in everything and everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How can you not be like, that was my first, like, when he was just like going to the freaking amusement park for the first time and just like, what is like, what? And it's like, incredible. So it gave me the permission I didn't need to be myself, but
Yeah.
because in fact, I didn't need it, but I didn't know that I didn't need it. For me, if I had not seen them, if I'd not seen that, if I'd not been in their space, I it would have taken me God knows how long. Honestly, I don't know how it would have happened. Because as I said, even just watching like other because it was predominantly white creators, I still felt like,
Mhm.
okay, but they're white, so that's I can do all that. So it was that part, and then as you mentioned as well, Anna, like just uh, I'm not justifying myself no more. Anna was in it. It's a full sentence. Um, it's not stressing, not feeling inadequate, not again, like I didn't have to do nothing to earn all of this love and support and acceptance and welcome arms and help. Actually, like it was no give and take. I could just take, if that makes sense. But you still naturally give. I'm a giver. I'm always gonna be a giver. But it just happened naturally. It's like I didn't have to give first. I didn't have to pretend first. I didn't have to, make myself likable. Like it was
Yeah.
just fine. Yo, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Thank you, Joy, and thank you, Anna. So we actually need to round up.
Oh, right.
We're we're person time. You know, talking for like more hours, but so to round up the episode, let's recap what was spoken. What was what was what did you learn or something you found interesting? And is there anything you would like to share about what you have coming up? And please share briefly because we do need to round up. So, Anna, I will start with you.
Oh my goodness. You caught me you got me off guard. But
Oh, no.
I think that, just being able to show up as you are, not hiding any parts of yourself, being compassionate, as I said, being kind to yourself, and support other people as well. Being part of this community has helped understand, because obviously when I was like diagnosed as well in my 40s, so like I didn't know what masking meant, and just kind of like understanding what that actually meant, and realizing, oh
Yeah.
wow, so I've been a different person all along. I've been pretending. It's like I'm acting. It's like it's like a film, so I look back into my life and it's like, oh, it's a film, because that wasn't actually me. It was someone else pretending to fit into a world that is not designed for them. So yeah, that's one of the things I can take away from this.
And anything you want to share briefly about what you have coming up?
So I don't have anything coming up.
Cool. That was great. Awesome. So over to you, Joy.
All right. So definitely for me, what I've learned is that you are fine just as you are. There was no mistake made when you got made. You are fine just as you are. And if you feel inadequate in any way, shape, or form, that just means you're in the wrong place. You're surrounded by the wrong motherfuckers. Just reroute. That's it. Exit to the left, to the right. Exit whichever way you want. Jump up, but just go. That's absolutely it. And what I got coming up, you can catch me at your nearest protest, whether it be Congolese protest, Sudanese protest, Palestinian protest. I will be here terrorizing the ops of humanity as I do best. Please boycott. You could use your phones provided by these Congolese children and women and Google what stores are boycotted. There's a few apps like No Thanks and Boycott. Please just do the bare minimum. We are literally trying to be on the right side of history, and we can, and there's so many little things that you can do to be part of that fight. So I would suggest, boycotting to start with. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna and Joy, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to chat and learn more about you both. Please, would you let our listeners know where they can connect with you, like social handles, websites? Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so you can connect to me on Instagram. So it's family Ramzu. So it's family Ramzu as in RAMZU on Instagram. Anna Giselle Zuniga on Facebook, and I am Anna Ramos on TikTok as well. Oh, I'm also on LinkedIn.
So ITS DJ Baby Bitch. That's where you can find me wherever I am. It's DJ Baby Bitch. Yeah, we don't do TikTok. We don't do none of these that. But Instagram it's DJ Baby Bitch, and I'm on Upscroll. I had the TikTok because I needed to reach the people, but it's still active, so you can still find me there. It's DJ Baby Bitch, but I no longer engage. Thank you all so much for hosting us. Though you know, have been dope.
Yeah.
Fallon, nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
And Chichi, love you.
Wrap up stuff to say.
So, to our listeners, if you found a sense of home here at ADHD Babes, consider supporting us. That could mean signing up as a member, donating, or even just sharing this podcast with your people. Every bit helps us keep doing this beautiful work.
Join the conversation on our Discord or WhatsApp group for members. Follow us on socials. We now have our very own Insta page for the podcast, which is at ADHDbabes.pod. So that's ADHDbabes.pod, as well as our regular at ADHDbabes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the video version of this podcast. And most importantly, stay connected. We're building this together.
Thanks for listening to this episode of ADHD Babes, the podcast. If you're a Black woman or non-binary person and needs help and support in managing your ADHD or advice on diagnosis, please visit ADHDbabes.com. No clinical diagnosis is required to join. Join us in 2 weeks for a new episode. Until then, all the love from the ADHD Babes team.